Hi, I'm Howard Wetsman, Chief Medical Officer of Townsend. I'd like to take a few minutes to talk to you about triggers, craving, and sudden relapse. If you understand the biology of addiction, you understand that most of it is about dopamine. You may feel comfortable that you have a good dopamine tone and are working a good recovery program to keep it that way. Don't forget that this is an illness, an act of nature, and not in our control. That means that we can do everything right, and still things can happen, like a hurricane or sudden illness. But it helps to understand the nature of these things so that we can make plans on how to handle them if they do occur. We may also be able to learn to prevent a few, or at least not be there when they happen. First, let's discuss triggers. A trigger is a sensory cue that reminds us of using. It can be anything: a sight, sound, smell, memory, place, person, touch, anything. It comes out of the blue and may happen when we have good dopamine tone. We may not even consciously notice it. What a trigger is biologically is a firing of a signal from the emotional memory center of the brain to the reward center. That spins the reward center up as if it took a drug. So there's a dopamine spike followed by a dopamine crash. So what's happening is that you see something that reminds you of using, and you get a hit of dopamine as if you used. This is called euphoric recall, or anticipatory euphoria. It doesn't last long. It's followed by a dopamine crash, which brings on the craving. So it's not the high that brings on the craving, but the crash. The craving is the brain's way to fix the crash. It's a message that dopamine is crashing, and you better do something about it now. But the message is designed for life and death situations, not everyday using triggers. You don't have to respond. If we do nothing, use no tools of the program, and try just to gut this out, what happens is that the craving will possibly strengthen, and we might use. So we need another plan. First, recognize this biology is just biology. When I feel a craving, it's not really my body saying that if I don't take a drink right now, I'm going to die. It's my body saying, hey, I just saw that guy I used to drink with. So instead of, quote, saving my life, unquote, with a drink, I get to say, so what? If we understand this is just random nerve firing, we have a better chance of not acting on it. But what if we find we can't not act on it? Well, there is medication that specifically helps with this kind of cue-induced craving that works by toning down the signal from the emotional memory center. There may be another solution as well that will work in some situations. We might find that some situations, especially early in recovery, are just too powerful a sensory cue. We can avoid these people, places, and things until we're in a more stable situation. So let's put it all together. Craving can be sudden and can happen even when we have good dopamine tone. In these cases, it's usually cue-induced. We can deal with these by avoiding cues, taking the correct medication, and most importantly, by not acting on them, and calling someone to talk about them just being cues, not actually anything important.